For more info at 931-542-6265 or
Specializing in metal parts, machining, and fabrication since 1960, Girding Enterprises has excelled in the machining process. A truly American company, Girding Enterprises has gone from one-man shop in a basement to a world-class machine shop with over 20 employees. We strive to uphold the highest level of quality while constantly improving our efficiency level in order to offer the most affordable prices to our customers. Visit us online at girdingent.com or give us a call at 636-274-9802.
Welcome back. It's Fit Nation.
We are a show founded by veterans and hosted by two veterans and a military spouse. Our mission is to get people to tell their story to the world. If you're an author, share your tips with the MisFit Nation. If you're a musician or actor, our audience needs to know how they too can get into the business. Coaches, we love our coaches. Come on, share some of your tips with the MisFit Nation to help them become better versions of themselves. If you are a corporate leader or entrepreneur, come on and share how you did it and how hard you have fought for success. If you are a veteran, first responder, or Gold Star family, we'd love to have you come on and just share your story with the MisFit Nation. We always have time for you. If you're feeling down, alone, or starting to see the darkness, stop. Think about those who are around you. You are not alone. You will be missed. If you feel like your problems will be a burden to those in your inner circle or are embarrassed, dial 988. If you are a veteran, take option 1. We need you to keep pushing forward. Don't make a permanent solution to a temporary problem. If you're a new listener, welcome to the MisFit Nation. Be sure to subscribe to the show on your favorite podcast apps and also on our YouTube channel at @the_MisFit Nation. Subscribe, click the bell to keep you up to date with our latest episodes and all of our news. You can also find us on Electrocast Media and About Face Radio. This will keep you tuned in to us and learn about our great guests. If you want to call in or make comments, it helps them to get to know you a little better. So if you want to go back as far as you want through the Navy to how we got to where we are now.
Let's see. I'll take you a little bit after I was born.
Okay.
Let's see. No, I'll start. I will start right before the Navy. So when I was in high school, I never even considered, actually, no, I lied. I did consider the military. I wanted to go into the Marines, actually, but my mother wouldn't let me. So I went to Culinary Arts University. I went to Johnson & Wales for cooking. After a year, I found out that I don't like cooking, at least in fine dining. And so I had my son after my first year in college. And then after kind of doing a whole bunch of part-time jobs, I was like, I can't do this anymore. And so I looked at the military as an option for me. Initially, I did want to go into the Air Force, but when they told me that I had to ultimately give up custody of my son, I wouldn't be able to like do a whole family care plan at that time. I was like, so that's not an option. So I went literally across the street to the Navy recruiter's office and did all of that stuff. I was in the Navy for almost 10 years. And during my last deployment, I really didn't know what to do because they actually gave me an option. They were like, do you want to go on deployment? And I was like, sure. But it was while I was on deployment that I decided that I wanted to get a degree in business. And so I started taking classes while we were out to sea. I got out, got married, and continued my education. Graduated from a local community college with my associates in business administration. And then I went straight to Norfolk State University here in Norfolk, Virginia, for a bachelor's in entrepreneurship. And I'm currently pursuing a master's in digital entrepreneurship. Throughout that entire time, I accumulated 4 mastiffs, got another kid. had another
Found
kid.
it.
And, I am still in Virginia Beach where I served. So yeah, I did all of that.
I mean, that's a big journey right there. A lot of schooling, a lot of education. That you keep in mind the exercise as well as doing your entrepreneurship. When you were
Yeah.
younger, did you have an instinct to maybe sell things, even like start up little businesses, maybe when you were a kid in school, or it just happened later?
Nope. I actually wanted to be a singer. I still want to be a
Sing.
singer. I've been singing since I can remember. I don't know. Trying to remember. No, I don't think I did one time when I was little. Me and my cousins, mind you, we got in trouble for this. We set up a store in my grandparents' basement, and I don't want to say borrowed, because literally, like realistically, we stole all of my grandfather's quarters out of his drawer, and we shared all of it in the basement. We created this entire store with like all of my grandparents' canned goods. Other than that, that was pretty much it. That was the only like business related thing that I did when I was younger.
That was your first scandal. That's good. See,
That was my first scandal. Yeah.
standing. You even had money making system and all their food. That was good. Did you make a lot of money that way?
Yep. Yep. So like I said, we did get in trouble for that. But yeah, I created a whole business then, but it really honestly wasn't until I had my son um before the military that I saw that I didn't want to work for somebody else. And I don't know why, it was just like a click. When people have kids and they're like, as soon as I saw my baby, I knew that I wanted to take care of, wanted the best, that's not, it took me a while. I'm a late bloomer. And so that didn't hit me until I brought him home from the hospital. And I was like, I was staying with my mom and I was like, I can't do this. Like I should have my own things. And so that was another driving force for me to join the military. Was I wanted to make sure that I always had my own thing and I provided as much as I could for my son. So
And that's a great goal right there. And I mean, you went through two different options before you fell into the Navy, really. So,
yeah,
well, you started really with the Navy's little brother there, the Marines, and then you went to then Uber Marines with the Navy. So you worked it
yeah,
out. The only place you didn't go was 2 blocks down to the Army. So I mean,
yeah. Literally, the Army recruiting office was literally 2 stores down from the Navy. And I considered the Army as my last resort. I was like, I'm sorry, yeah. So
so
thank God the Navy took me.
thank God they took you. You'd be crawling down the street. Hey, please take me.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me get all dirty for no reason. So if the Navy didn't take you in the Army, you didn't want to go in the Army, would you think you would have pivoted, went to college, or you would have had a plan C or D after that?
I would have bit the bullet and I would have joined the Air Force.
You would have done it.
Mhm. I would
It
have
would have been a
I
very
would have
hard decision.
given yeah, I would have given my mother full custody and I would have joined the Air Force.
It would have been a rough decision at that point, though, especially with as young as your son was at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't even 2 yet. He was like 1.5. Yeah, because I went into the debt program in May of 2008. And he was born in 2006, November 2006. So he would have been 2 that November.
Yeah, that would have been a horrible choice. And
Yeah.
glad the Muddy Water Navy took you there and embraced you for 10 years.
Yeah.
10 years is a long time to go and then to just cut it off too, because the first 10 years are probably the hardest. The second 10 years usually fly by. And it's a rough decision to make. I'm going to get out and lose those 10 years towards my retirement and go forward. Did you think about going reserves or just done?
I did. I actually got out on a medical separation.
Okay.
I found out right before my second deployment. I'd always wondered. I was like, before I had my son, I was always fit. I was always athletic and everything. And after having him, I just could never lose the weight. And I worked very, very hard. Like I thought I was going to die trying to lose weight to join the Navy. But as I was in, I just couldn't. It was like I was slowly gaining weight back. Long story short, I got tested, found out that I had manic depressive disorder, an anxiety disorder, and hypothyroid. So
All together.
trifecta.
Wow.
So we tried, my chief, even it went all the way up to the CEO. Um, the XO and the CO personally tried to help me. They provided, resources for me, reading materials and things. Everybody in my shop tried to help me lose weight and stay in it, but I think I had got on medicine too late, to where by the time PRT came around again, I wasn't within standards. So, um, they asked me, do you want to get out? So I just signed the paperwork and I just got out. So,
Wow. And getting that diagnosis that late in life, really, that's a late diagnosis, really, because it probably was going on for a long time, just hidden in the background somewhere. That
yeah.
you wouldn't notice it until now. You look back and say, "Oh, that explains why this happened," or that explains why that happened. I
Yeah.
don't know if you had an aha moment like that once you got diagnosed.
It honestly, it wasn't until I spoke to my mom, because the doctor, when, I was in my appointment, he was asking, do you have a history? And I was just like, no, I've never heard of a thyroid, anything in my family. And my mom and I had a conversation, and I think the light bulb started going in her mind, which as we spoke, started making me think, so this is kind of hereditary, and this is why this person in my family had it so rough, and this person and my mom. And so it was never about, at that point I realized it was never about eating too much or not exercising enough, or what have you. It was, I had this thing that I didn't know I had. And oddly enough, I was happy the day I was diagnosed with hypothyroid, because it was like, I could breathe. I knew it was wrong.
Right.
So it was funny enough. I kind of wanted to get out because I don't necessarily like listening to people. Um, but it was extremely difficult because I felt like I was kind of being kicked out of my own family, and I had no clue what I was going to do afterward. Even though I was married, like I had just gotten married and everything, and I had kids, I literally, it actually kind of makes me anxious talking about it now. I felt like, so what am I going to do now? Like, I don't have all of these people anymore. Um, instead of sleeping instead of sleeping in a berthing full of 50 women, it's just literally me and my husband. It was extremely difficult for for me to make the transition.
I bet. And you go, like you said, you lose that camaraderie kind of thing.
Mhm.
Instant families, especially with 50 women in a birthing area, that's not really camaraderie. That's a fight waiting to happen. I can feel it.
Yeah.
Just, that's I guess real world times 10 there, but it's hard.
Yes.
It's horrible with that many women in one spot and that many different personalities going at each other and saying, I'm the best, this is my area, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure there were some good stories in there. You can probably write a couple of books about the birthing area.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It was interesting. I know a lot of people think that boys are disgusting. Look, girls are hilarious. But it was just like, I mean, going to bed in my rack and hearing in the, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, hearing other people getting up and all of the activity. It's different when you then go home for good and there's just nothing.
No noise,
Like
no more.
yeah, there's other than you or your spouse getting up in the middle of the night, there's no activity. And there's no like, especially when you have the next watch or something, there's no being anxious, like I hope I don't oversleep. Like I hope they don't have to send someone to the birthing. Like there's just nothing. And so there was like a lot of small things I had to get used to. And I didn't like it.
Right. And especially with having the anxiety and stuff like that, it probably didn't help when you got
No, not at
outside.
all.
No one's coming to wake me up. I don't know what's going on. What am I supposed to do? I don't have to get up at 2 a.m. for no reason.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I was wondering, it's so obvious, but to me, I was still wondering Why is it hard for me to go to sleep? Why do I feel so lonely? Um, why am I so bored? Um, it was literally like I was just sitting at home waiting because I was pregnant with my daughter soon after I left the military, and it was just like I was sitting at home waiting to have her. It was just like there was nothing for me to do.
All right, come on, let's go. Let's go. Hurry
Yeah,
up.
yeah. Like let's go. We have things to do. Come on.
You're not doing it fast enough.
Pretty much. Yeah.
So after that probably took you months or to 9 months probably to get all that out of your head and then say, I'm going to turn this key and go forward.
Yes, and school definitely helped. Actually, to back up a little bit, I went from the military to the shipyard, and yeah, after I had my daughter, I went to the shipyard as a contractor, and that helped a lot. Like that was I did a year, and that was like a year of transition because I wasn't in the military, but I was still on the ship. I worked on the Abraham Lincoln, so I was still on the ship. I was still around sailors, and so it allowed me to kind of ease out of military mode and into civilian mode. Um, so that definitely helped. And then after that, I made the decision, which was literally like a leap of faith. I was like, you know what? I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to go to school full time so that I can get this over with. Um, and it went from, being a kind of a worker, like something that, I know how to do, to being an untraditional college student. It was completely different.
Being the old lady in class.
I mean, I wasn't the oldest,
Okay.
but
I was close.
like I was a little bit like I was in the middle. This also helped with my transition because I got to be around young people who had not experienced the world yet, who hadn't been out of the state or out of the country yet. Actually, it's not just young people, older people too, who had never left their town or
Right.
city or whatever. Um, and I noticed that I had this very well-rounded mindset when it came to, thinking about foreign relations and just thinking outside of the box when it came to like entrepreneurship and business. Um, and I just had to sit back and laugh when I heard a lot of, what young people were saying. And then I found myself acting old. I'd be like, these young people, these days.
You just don't know.
Yeah, I was just like, if only you knew. But that's when the military experience kicked in, and I began, kind of telling people, encourage people, travel, get out of your town, get out of your city, get out of the state of Virginia, go overseas. Even, I mean, technically you're still kind of going over a sea, but even to the Caribbean islands, like experience other cultures. Um, and that was the first time that I actually realized I had been coaching and consulting people for a while, ever since I was in the military. But that was the first time I actually started putting a word to it. And
Right.
I was like, whether it's coach, consultant, mentor, whatever, you want to call it, I found myself using what I learned in the military, whether it's in the military through experiences. I found myself trying to help other people. Um, and that's when entrepreneurship really, really kicked in, when I went to Norfolk State. And literally everything that I did, I was trying to help people. So that's really when the entrepreneurship took off.
And knowing that, like you said, putting a label on it finally after so many years of actually doing it, then
Mhm.
realizing, hey, I'm actually helping people without even trying, because it's a
Yeah.
gift you have. The military, the Navy might have solidified that gift, but you already had it before you went in. Being the
Yeah.
oldest sibling, you already had some of that leadership there because you had to lead the path for your brothers and sisters before
Right.
they got in the same trouble you did. You had to teach them, hey, don't do it this way because this is how I got in trouble. or if you wanted to get in trouble, hey, do it this
I
way.
mean, I was like on the fence. I was like, can do this, but I'm going to let you know this is probably how you should do it so you don't get caught.
This is the ramifications.
Yeah.
This is what to me, but I'm not going to. I'm tired of you, so go ahead and do this.
Well, pretty much. I mean, it wasn't just my brother and sister. Actually, it was at the time it was 7 of us, and me, my brother and sister, and then my cousins. We were all around each other, and I am the oldest out of everyone. And so there was a lot of me getting in trouble because of what everybody else did. But trying to figure out how to be essentially a leader. I mean, I never thought about it like that when I was little, but how to be a leader, how to stay out of trouble, and how, how to set a good example for everyone else. Because I was always being told, take care of your brother and sister, take care of your cousins, look out for them. Where you go, they go. And so, yeah, I guess I was kind of what is molded to be a leader.
By accident and on purpose. So
yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Happy accident, I'd call it. And I think the military really helps a lot of people find that spirit inside them, find that skill set that they didn't really think they had. And a lot of, like, even when you went to college, you were the middle of the class there, and age wise, a lot of the younger people probably are looking up and saying, wow, she's seen so much and she speaks so eloquently because she was in the Navy and she's not cursing at us. This is great. But and then the
that
older
was hard.
Yeah, that's very hard not to just give that start yelling. I mean, I did my master's after I got out of the military, and it was very hard in discussion posts not to just go nuts in there. And I'd type it and then I'd erase it. I got to erase this. I'm going to fail this class. I'm going to get kicked out of college if I write this. Let me write something. Oh, that was a wonderful post. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Really well.
It was the 5th one I wrote.
Yes, good on you. Good on you. And
yeah.
Then
I will say for now that you mentioned discussion posts, I have to do my homework for Sunday. The funny thing is with my master's, it's different because I go to school online. Granted, I would rather go in person, but I have 2 businesses that I run, so I wouldn't be able to go, in person. But online, there's hundreds of students in one class, and doing discussion posts and answering the questions. The issue I run into is not my age; it's my industry. A lot of people that are in my classes are in corporate America, or are in corporate America and have early venture businesses or side hustles. But I'm usually the only artist and consultant in my classes that I know of that anybody posts about. And so a lot of my discussion posts are obviously, about either me being an artist, a coaching consultant, or being a veteran. That's actually one of the 3 things my responses are about. And I always hold my breath because I'm like, I wonder if people are going to accept my perspective as a non-corporate person. I wonder if there are any other veterans in this class that are going to accept my perspective. And I'm pretty sure there's no artists. So people, if I write about my art, a lot of people tend to respond like, in having the perspective of, I live this glorious life where I wake up and I just like throw paint on a canvas and I'm so free and, all of that. And it's definitely not like that. But yeah, interacting with people around the world in my master's program is very interesting. And sometimes humbling because I realize that I have to speak to my class a certain way, especially because it's online. And so, yeah, those 3 things always seem to like intersect: art, military, and consulting. Yeah.
Definitely. And speaking of your art, as soon as you open up your webpage, I think those coasters are amazing that come up there.
Thank you.
Beach coasters. If I let my wife see this, she'd be buying it. So I'm not letting her see it right now. So
I'll let her see it.
she will definitely buy that. She loves the beach. I actually met her in Savannah, Georgia. She lived right near the beach there.
Oh,
So anytime we're near a beach, we have to go to it. She doesn't go in the water. She likes the beach itself. I like
okay.
the water. So I'm swimming. She's sunbathing and reading. So that's our happy medium right there.
Okay.
So
Line of demarcation.
tell me about the artist and entrepreneur there. And that's an awesome, like I said, that it brings you in with that first picture right there. And then of course the pictures of you with your art around you. And of course you all muddied up there with your paint bib on. So
Yeah, because so I actually didn't start painting until the pandemic, until lockdown.
wow.
Um, I had always been an artist. I've always been in the arts. When I was little, I was a singer. I was a dancer. My mom put me in pageants, and I did shows where I sang the national anthem. And I had always been in music and dance. My brother was the visual artist, and he's still an artist. He's a realism artist, but I never thought, ever since I was younger, I never thought that I was good at visual art, drawing, sketching, um, painting, any of that. And during the pandemic, so actually before the pandemic, I had a skincare business. And I made soaps, I made body scrubs, I made bath bombs, all sorts of stuff. And I sold in person at farmers markets and trade shows and things like that. I completely neglected the online world. And so when COVID hit and everything was shut down, I didn't get any sales because I didn't know how to sell my stuff online. And so I turned to face masks. Made almost $5,000 in 30 days. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. But then I got sick and tired of sewing. And so I was like, I need another hobby. And so I was like, I see a lot of people doing abstract painting. And so I went to Michael's, or not went to, I ordered paint from Michael's. And I think I have a video on my YouTube channel of one of the first times I started painting. And it was literally just pouring paint on the canvas, and my kids were helping me. And I had the canvas sitting on top of a 5-gallon bucket from Lowe's. And it made me feel better because at the time, everything was shut down. Couldn't go to the doctor, couldn't do any of that. And I was getting anxious. I wasn't able to meet with my therapist and my psychiatrist and my doctor. And painting and just being, I don't like to use free, was very helpful for my mental health. And it helped me, interact with the kids and, be super engaging and all of that. And then the painting just got better. I started practicing instead of just being free with it. And that kind of ran in resin and all of that. And by the time everything started opening back up, I went to markets because I'm a business person, started doing market research and writing things down. And I found an actual niche for this stuff. And yeah, ever since then, I've been doing, I switched, people knew me in the community for skincare, and people still contact me like, do you have body butter? Literally, they're like, do you have body butter? Like, I need body butter. I need to refill my order. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but I don't do it anymore. And they're just like, are you sure? And I'm just like, all right, it's fine. Tell me what you want. I'll make it for you and I'll deliver it. So I have skin groupies, but yeah, the one fragrance everybody still gets is Get Butt Naked. Don't ask, it's fruity. But yeah, that's how I got into art.
The name gets them, Get Butt Naked. That's it right there.
Yeah. They're all like, is that the one that I got last time? Get Butt Naked? Yes, that's the pink one. I'll make some more.
I'll make it just for you. Stop coming over here and scratching in front of me. It's great.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
So did you develop the website during the pandemic or after?
I actually that I converted my skincare website into my art website.
Ah,
So, and everybody asked me like, so did you get a developer? And I'm like, no, I'm hard-headed. I figured it all out myself and I made my website. But yeah, I just tweaked it and converted it into my art site. So
and that's part of that Jersey upbringing and hard headedness. I think it comes with being born in Jersey and raised in Jersey. You get the hard headedness, and you have to do things your own way until
pretty
you
much.
realize that you might need help at some point.
Yeah. But try to hold off as long as you can.
Yes. Never
You
raise
know,
that hand for help. No, I'm good. I'm
yeah.
not tapping out yet. No, no. My leg's hanging off, but I got this. I'm good. Don't worry.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just painted
So
my kid by accident. I'm all right. They'll be okay.
yeah, they're
I have 2
fine
of
walking.
them. I have 2 of them. It's okay.
Look, my I work with the Innovation Center at Norfolk State University. We had a meeting, in-person meeting, a brunch a couple weeks ago, and the director of the center asked me. She said, "So, how are your kids?" I said, "They're still alive." But military humor. I watched one of your videos earlier today, and I know you had mentioned that, or one of your guests had mentioned that we in the military have a specific sense of humor that not everybody gets, and so my team did not get it, and so I had to laugh real quickly so that they wouldn't think that I was like crazy.
You definitely have to ease them into it, or at
Yeah,
least give them cards, like show cards. Here, just laugh, man, laugh.
yeah, pretty much.
Don't beat my kids to death. I'm good.
I'm joking, JK, JK.
It's not Hansel and Gretel in the oven. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, pretty much.
You can tell the difference when I talk to a veteran like yourself or any other veteran on here. You can tell the humor is different, and then when I have a corporate or anyone on here, it's like more of that straight narrow
Mhm.
thing. It's harder to get any responses out, so it's much more enjoyable this way.
Yeah, you like make a joke, and some people it's crickets, and then it gets very awkward. And you're like, maybe I shouldn't have said that.
That's why I enjoy my day job. I work in an office full of veterans, so it's exciting every day. You never know what you're walking into. It's just like still being in the service and a bunch of old retired guys still talking smack to each other every day, and it's just great.
See, I'm so glad at the center I do have another veteran. And so her and I connect very well at work and outside of work because we get it. Like, I think she was in LS. And if she was not, and she sees this, don't hurt me, don't kill me. But I think she was in LS, and she got out just recently, and her and I, like I said, we go at it, we joke, and we understand each other, and it would be a little difficult to be that free with our humor with anybody else, that any civilian, because they just don't really get it, but that's okay. Like you said, sometimes you have to ease people into it, or feel them out, and sometimes they're just not for that humor, and other times they're like, okay, I get it, I can roll with it now. So
Sometimes it's like a weird sitcom, and you're the only one laughing inside and outside, and they're just looking at you like you're nuts. So
yes.
you just got to deal with it at that point. And you feel like you're in your own TV box, and they're looking at you like you're the insane one.
Yeah, pretty much. And then that's when it's time to say, okay, so as I was saying before,
Yeah. Back to the reality here.
yeah, so back
Watch
to
this.
what you were saying. Yeah, elaborate on that.
I really liked your ideas. Let's do what you're saying.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So, what's
So
your favorite thing to make? You see, you have the coasters, you have the paintings, you have a whole art market you go to. So, what's your favorite thing you do?
um well, I will tell you what I hate doing. I hate doing the coasters, actually,
See,
and that's because I'm impatient. I love the way they turn out, but I absolutely hate the process. Um, let's see, my favorite thing is painting, throwing literally. Actually, you know what? I lied. Painting used to be my favorite. Now my favorite is my digital artwork. And that's because I use AI art. I fuse it with acrylic painting. I fuse it with crushed glass and fabric and fake hair. And I make this whole like modge podge of a thing that turns out to be amazing. Um, and I haven't shown anybody yet because I have an exhibition coming
I
up
haven't seen
in
anything
May.
out here.
Yep. Nope. You won't see it until May. But I absolutely love working with that because it brings so many different things together. You creating my artificial intelligence artwork, I'm able to kind of pull lines from poetry because, why not do poetry? I pull lines from my poetry, enter those as prompts into the software. It gives me these images, and then I get really detailed. And then things start, ideas start flying off. Oh, I can sew this fabric on it. I can braid this hair on it. So I love how I'm able to make all these different things intersect. But yeah, it's either that or if I don't have anything else to do, just taking some acrylic paint, putting on a canvas and taking a blow dryer and blowing it out. So that's my other thing that I like to do.
That's kind of your release too, so it's good. So
Yeah, pretty much.
when you start feeling yourself going into the waves of things going on, we go throw some paint on this thing or on anything and blow dry it.
Pretty much, yeah. I've gotten into this. I don't want to call it a ritual because I don't do it a whole lot. But when I need to, I go in my shop. I close my door. We converted our garage to my art studio, and literally the walls and the ceiling are turquoise. And I go in there and I blast my music. Like literally, you can hear the music like at the next door, and I just start doing things. I like the fact that it's not structured. And however it turns out, I force myself to accept this. I don't change anything. I make myself accept however the piece comes out. And that has been extremely hard. But it's an exercise in acceptance, I guess. So it's part of the process.
Definitely, and that I do the same thing with this. A lot of people with podcasts, they'll spend hours editing. I believe if I record, me and you record right here, when we're live right now as well, this is how it should be. I should go back in and airbrush me and you in there, make us look all different, and make us sound like we're amazing the whole time. Because that's not life. That's not reality. This isn't a Hollywood show. This is a podcast, and I think we should be real as possible as we're on here.
Yeah, no, I agree. Because I can get, and I've learned this with painting also, I can mess things up if I keep going in there and tweaking things. And so, yeah, and I do video editing. I do all of that stuff. It's the same thing. I can spend an enormous amount of time trying to change things to make it perfect. And so I'm glad that I've gotten into painting and gotten into visual artwork because like I said, I force myself to just stop and leave it. And however it turns out, whether I like it or not, if I don't like it, somebody else is going to like it. That's a guarantee because art is subjective. And so I just force myself to leave it.
Outstanding. And for the other About Face Radio DJs out there, this is someone you need to have on your show as well. Plenty of DJs on there that are veterans as well that should grab you up and have you on their slots during the day or night, whenever their shows are. And of course, I'll send them your information. So that'd be good for you as well, to keep getting your voice out there, keep getting your reps on podcasts, at least friendly podcasts first, and then go out to the enemy ones. So
yeah.
So with that being said, what's a great way for people to get in contact with you?
A good way to get in contact with me, honestly, is either texting me or messaging me on Instagram. Yep. I am on Instagram. I mean, I'm on Facebook literally every day with my family. So that's probably the other way. So social media, let's just put it social media or texting me. That's
I think all the links to your socials are on your website.
Yeah.
They're all on there. Yeah. So And the website's going across the bottom of the screen now. So Tiffany, if you give a tips to someone that wants to start a business right now and is stuck in their own way, what tips would you give them?
Stop it. It's irritating. It literally, because I'm a coach and consultant. And it's irritating when I hear people say, I want to start a business. And then 5 years later, I still want to start my business, but they haven't started their business. Just do it. Just start the business. Your business is not going to be perfect. Actually, and this sounds very mean, unless you are a cousin of Jesus, your business is going to be trash first. Unless you are in a position where you have a team of people, you've grown up in this, you know what I mean? Things. I actually told this business owner gave them this analogy. Just like when you were in middle school and you were in the 6th grade and you had to sit in front of the bus, you couldn't sit in the back of the bus because the 8th graders are back there. That's how your business is going to be. You're going to be that 6th grader that sits in the front of the bus. Eventually, you will get to the back of the bus. So my main tip, just do it. Create a plan, even if it's on a napkin or in your planner, on tissue in the bathroom. Just jot down some stuff and then jump into it. And you'll learn. You'll learn how you want to do business. You'll learn the types of people you want to work with. You'll learn.
Definitely. And if you do use the tissue in the bathroom, make sure you don't use that tissue in the bathroom after you write on it, because then
Exactly.
it'll be a waste of time at that point.
Don't use it. Don't get it wet.
It'll have its dual purpose at that point, but it's over at that point too.
Pretty much. Yeah.
So, Tiffany, thanks for jumping in last week on Alignable and getting us linked together, and also agreeing to come on live here. And I look forward to seeing great things from you in the future.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
No problem. It was awesome. Thanks for checking us out and being a part of the Misfit Nation. Don't forget to visit our website at themisfitnation.com. That's themisfitnation.com to catch up on all of our episodes and also to get some of that great Misfit Nation gear. As always, be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling, because we are